The president of the African Export-Import Bank, Professor Benedict Oramah, was a special guest at the high-profile Africa Business Day 2024, a forum that provides participants with insights into transformative projects and initiatives on the African continent. Speaking at a fireside chat at the event in Switzerland, which was held under the patronage of the State Secretariat for Economic Affairs and organized by the Swiss African Business Circle, the head of Afreximbank outlined some of the recent game-changing initiatives on the continent and beyond.
A strategic relationship. So to ensure that happens, we came here with companies we thought would provide the opportunity for partnership between Swiss companies and African companies that will begin to open the way for that partnership. We are here with a company that does industrial infrastructure, just like Tanjamed. We have Arise Integrated Industrial Platform that is an investee company of ours that does industrial platforms, industrial parks, special economic zones. And we believe that provides an opportunity for companies from Switzerland that want to come and invest. Usually what the companies will worry about will be, first of all, infrastructure. We don't have electricity, water, and all the other things people complain about in Africa. And that is solved through the industrial parks. The company will worry, I hear so much about issues of country risk and so on and so forth. Then that is something Afreximbank can take away from. And the company, who do we deal with locally, even local financing, simple working capital, trade finance, and even project finance. Afreximbank does it, and we came also with financial institutions here that can also provide those finances. We're talking about, I mentioned the issue about life sciences and biomedical sciences. We are here with companies that are in pharmaceutical businesses and research. We're here with the CEO of African Medical Center of Excellence, which is a hospital, a first-class hospital we are developing, but not only hospital, but also a research center, because we believe that we shouldn't just be talking about it, we should do something. We are in a very strong position to present ourselves as a strong partner to Novartis, because we want to make sure that sickle cell goes away in Africa, for example. It can be done. It's just because nobody, Caucasians don't suffer from sickle cell. If they were, they would be gone since. But we have to do it now because we can. And those are the kind of things we are here for. And that is why you see the mix of people we bring here, so that anybody who has a problem here has a solution. I can tell you that the solution. We in Afreximbank, we've decided to dedicate $2.5 billion to this partnership. And the vice president here, who is in charge of global business, knows that he has to make sure that is used. And I'm telling the companies here, don't say, I don't see anybody to finance me. We are here. We have companies, financial institutions here to finance you. And we had a very, very wonderful meeting yesterday with the ECA SAV. And we believe that the partnership we are likely to build, which will be a win-win partnership, we even expand what I'm saying. So you will have Afreximbank, you will have SEV, you will have the financial institutions supporting you in terms of money, in terms of protecting you from the country risk. You will have the industrial infrastructure, you have the Tanjamed is here, Arise Integrated Industrial Platform is here, that provides you the opportunity to come and invest. If you have a problem about those you deal with, market knowledge, policy, you have an Africa Trade Gateway. And I encourage you to subscribe to it. If you subscribe, if you want to deal with anybody in Africa, you go up to the digital platform, you see a comprehensive KYC information on that person. If you don't have enough, you can ask us. We will be able to provide it. So in a sense, the people we came here with are people intended to provide the opportunity to begin the discussion for collaboration today, because we don't want to say, well, this is what we want to do, let's meet tomorrow. The opportunity starts today.
Thank you, and I think that's also partially, when we talk about the Swiss, also SME landscape in the European terminology of an SME, and then you have seen the large projects and the big numbers. It can be a bit also shocking or frightening to some companies, but the opportunity is really there also to plug into existing platforms and in a collaborative win-win way. So now, Dr. Oramah, that's when you're a real, and that is a bit a continuation of what you said before. You're a real Pan-Africanist. You're advocating for a strong African voice in global business and political matters affecting the continent. You often talk about African sovereignty, be it financial and food security, etc. Independence. You also talk about collective bargaining power. What role do you see there for global business in this and in your Pan-African vision?
Well, Pan-African vision does not exclude the global business, and in fact, it involves global business. The only thing we talk about is that when we deal with global business, we want to deal with them as partners. We don't want global business to come to us to think they're doing us a favor, because that's not how business is done. It's not by doing people a favor. If the business doesn't make sense, please don't come. If it makes sense to you, if it makes sense to you, you come. And we know sometimes it will be difficult, but the returns are also very, very attractive. But that difficulty is what banks like Afreximbank and the others, it's not only Afreximbank, that have been created to begin to de-risk the business, to begin to hold hands and say, please come and test the waters. So the global business has a role to play. You see, the problem Africa has had is that Africa has been, is like a child raised on gifts and grants and all that. So when you now, when a challenge comes, instead of that person applying their minds to it, they wait for grant. We have to stop it because your problem is your problem. We saw it during the COVID-19, and I say this because we are very, very involved right from day one on the COVID issue. Right from the beginning, Africa would have gone into the vaccine market, negotiated its own vaccines early, but because somebody promised them, we will give you free vaccine. We sat on our palms, waiting for free vaccines, but we didn't think that this research for vaccine, whenever it's found, it won't be enough. The person giving you has to give himself first before he gives you. And what then happened is that when it actually came, we were waiting for vaccine, no vaccine came. Some of us knew it and we were telling them, look, let's go look for vaccines, like everybody. It was good they eventually somewhere down the road, we realized it and started looking, but it meant that the vaccine came later. So the idea of, give grants and all that, I'm not saying that grants are not good, but that should not be the primary source of financing for the continent. The continent should go for financing that is sustainable on its own, because that's how growth will arise. If you do a business that's sustained by grants, once that grant is off, the business will fail. So you better do your business that will start on its own. Of course, if grant comes, or concessional financing comes, then it's fine. As a matter of fact, we are introducing constitutional financing, which will be launched in the last quarter of the year. Our shareholders approved it. And we've decided to do it our own way. Our shareholders have donated their dividends for it. Donated almost about $300 million. We'll start with it. And we look for those who understand our philosophy for using constitutional finance. If they contribute, that will be fine. But the kind of constitutional finance we want to use for the private sector is one where, for example, there are some countries in Africa where a business to manufacture, that business will first buy the equipment it needs to manufacture, but then buy the power plant, do the water system, do everything, what the government ought to do. So what we're doing with the constitutional finance, that the constitutional finance is, for lending to that company, we will lend on commercial terms for the normal business, for the equipment and all the raw materials and all that the company needs. But for the infrastructure that the government ought to have provided, we lend on a concessional terms. So I think that is what makes sense, because that kind of thing can be sustainable, because eventually when the government begins to provide the services, then there will be no need for that concessional finance, and that company would succeed.
Very interesting. Thank you for this insight. You are, slowly coming to the end of your second term and the final term, if I understand correctly. You have achieved so much in positioning the bank up to now. From your point of view, already hinted it a bit, but what mainly needs to be done?
Well, I don't think anybody who is taking over doesn't really need to be told what to be done. We operate on the basis of strategic plans. We are on the 6th strategic plan. When I took over, I completed the 4th strategic plan of my predecessor. So the person who will come will complete my 5th, the one we are doing, the 6th strategic plan, and when it's completed, we have a methodology for preparing our plans. I will expect that that person will build on what we've done now. First, because Afreximbank has become systemic to the African continent. We have the payment system that underpins the African Continental Free Trade Agreement.